X-Pac 12360. Featuring weekly news, insider commentary, and interviews with superstars, past and present from the world of pro wrestling.
A new day is dawning for DX.
And now, your host, Sean X-Pac Waltman.
Welcome back to X-Pac 12360, everyone. Joining us on the phone right now is a guy that Triple H told me personally was the last of the white meat baby faces in pro wrestling. Johnny Gargano, a.k.a. Johnny Wrestling. Yeah!
The whole shebang.
Yeah, man. Thank you for coming on, Johnny.
No, it's my pleasure, man. Like I said, I told you a while ago, I wanted to do this with you for quite a bit, so I'm glad we can finally make it happen.
Yeah, you know, that a while ago was the last time that NXT was here in
The Novo.
At the Novo in LA. And man, let me get this out of the way real quick. You have the sweetest gear. Like, nobody has sweeter gear than you in wrestling right now. It's nice. It's so cool. Can I have your the number of your seamstress, please?
Well, I appreciate that. Thank you very much. And I think you told me that night, and I was like, well, I mean, like that's a big compliment coming from you, because as a child growing up, not to age myself or anything like that, or age you, like you were always kind of the standard bearer for cool gear.
Oh,
so
thanks.
I really do appreciate that compliment.
No, really, and I'm sure it's like not the compliment you're probably used to getting, considering your matches are amazing, especially lately. So I just thought I'd throw that in there.
No, trust me, like as you know, as a performer, like the gear is one of the most important things. So
presentation.
To tell you a little secret, I kind of just gank and steal everything from various Marvel characters, color schemes and whatnot. So
Yeah.
that's my secret to what I do. But yeah, I appreciate it.
Yeah, but you're taking it from something else and bringing it into wrestling, so it's not like you're like biting it, really. It's just, you know. But oh crap! Hey Johnny, when did we first meet? Was it at Chikara?
Yes, it was. We first met, I believe, at King of Trios.
Yeah.
Where you made your return, and I remember you wrestled a guy by the name of El Generico.
Yeah.
And you guys absolutely freaking tore the house down.
Wow.
Freaking one of the
Thank
best,
you.
like one of the best matches and atmospheres I've ever seen. Like the crowd was absolutely nuts, and you guys both I can't even put into words how good that match was. But yeah, I think that was the first time we met, and then I think you did Chikara a couple more times, so we saw each other quite a bit around that time.
Man, that made me feel really good. I got goosebumps right now, man, from you saying that. When you hear something like that from somebody as good as you, really, you know, man, anytime we have the respect of our peers, but especially our peers that are really, really freaking good, means a lot, man. Means a lot.
No, trust me, I mean every word. And like I said, just to hear that from you as well is mind blowing.
And
I don't take that lightly.
And the thing is okay, since I first saw you, you've had the stuff in the ring down pretty damn good. You know what happens from bell to bell, but you've upped your game. Like I've already talked about the gear, but you've dialed your physique in. I think you have one of the most ideal physiques for me, like personally, in wrestling right now. Excellent shape.
I appreciate that. And like as a smaller guy, I think you kind of come into the WWE environment. You think like, oh man, I need to be a larger than life character. I need to be over 200 pounds, and I need to be 6'5". But you know, I kind of just looked in the mirror one day and I was like, look, I'm never going to be 6'5", and unfortunately, I'll never probably be over 200 pounds just because that's not the way I was made, as you know.
Yeah.
Like that's just how it works sometimes. So I'm working with what I'm working with, and I just decided, you know, if I can't get bigger, I'm going to get more cut. I'm going to get leaner, and being lean ultimately ends up. I think everyone can kind of tell you, being lean ultimately makes you look bigger than you actually are.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So, you know, I kind of just accepted that and moved forward in that path, and I hired a nutritionist and started working with various people. And that's the thing. When you get here, man, like, you just got to kind of take it. I always say this one time, you kind of got one life and you got one chance.
That's it.
And you never know what can happen. So I got one opportunity here, and I want to try and make the most of it. So I try to kind of take everything a little bit more seriously and dial everything in.
Wow. Hey, Johnny. I should have mentioned this as from the get-go. my team here, I want to introduce you to him. Jimbo,
What's up,
Frank,
Johnny?
On the couch next to him is the lovely Denise Salcedo.
Hi, Johnny. Nice to meet you.
And I have Bill Bill Handstock here from uprocks.com.
Good to talk to you, Johnny.
And also to my left here is TK Trinidad from TMZ.
Hey, how are you doing?
And they're gonna be coming. Were you gonna ask a question, Denise?
Yeah,
Sorry.
actually, I was very interested to know, you had a flawless match with Andrade Cien Almas at NXT TakeOver. You guys worked a lot during the California tour. I wanted to know if you guys incorporated a lot from your prior matches, or if you guys kind of decided to have a different style match, considering how talented both of you guys are.
I can't say enough good things about Andrade Cien Almas. I think for someone who worked with a mask his entire career, to be in the spot he's in and to be doing what he's doing, I think he is so talented. And it's funny because we did wrestle a lot on that California tour, and I think that was the first time we actually wrestled. The first couple times we actually mixed it up together. And in our time in NXT, we were always looking forward to working together because I knew how talented he was, and we're kind of like-minded people. Both two guys who are basically just two workhorses who want to go out there and steal the show. No matter if there's 50 people or there's 10,000 people. We always want to go out there and kill it and tear the house down. So when you get two guys like that, I think, who are willing to leave everything in the ring, I think you can make some magic happen. And we were heading into Brooklyn, I believe, at the time, and that was kind of our first big match, and we knew that was the opening match, actually. So I think there's a different mindset in, we're going to Brooklyn, we're going to be the opening match, but we still wanted to tear the house down, to, okay, we're the main event of TakeOver Philadelphia for the NXT Championship in front of over 10,000 people. We're going to have a little bit more time. So, yes, I think if you do trilogies, or you do a series of matches, you always do incorporate a couple things. And I think if you watch our first match, our second match, and our third match back to back to back, you'll see a common trend there. But we did kind of want to do a little something different, a little bit more main eventy. But like I said, I can't say enough good things about Andrade Cien Almas, and it's always a pleasure to get in the ring with him.
Listen, you two had your work cut out for you that night, because there was nothing but great matches on that show, Johnny. And I was thinking, man, these guys are going to have a hard time following that last one. And man, if you guys didn't do it, unbelievable. Unbelievable.
And I think that speaks volumes about what TakeOver actually is. I mean, that's what every TakeOver is. Every TakeOver is about 5 matches, and every match itself could be a main event, really, at the end of the day. That's the beauty of them. They put on some of the best professional wrestling shows in the world, and every match tops itself. But I think that speaks a lot about NXT, though. It's a competitive environment. You want to go out there and you want to steal the show, no matter what position you're in, and that only helps each other up. That only helps each person up each other's game. Yeah,
and watching that match, you have me so emotionally invested that I'm not going to lie to you, man. I cried when you didn't win, Johnny. I swear to God to you, man. I had tears coming down my eyes.
Oh, I feel bad now.
Don't, man. No, just listen to me. The fact that you could do that to me, I've been in wrestling 30 years. I've been around it and setting the ring up since I was 10. So almost, for a long ass time, man. And for you to be able to make me emote like that when watching a wrestling match, that's amazing.
That's really, you complimented my gear earlier, but that really is, that's the biggest compliment I could possibly get that's kind of what we strive to do, right? I mean, if you can make someone who knows the ins and outs of professional wrestling believe for a minute, I think that's a job well done in itself. I mean, that's really what we strive to do, is to make the people who know what's coming and kind of guess what's coming and kind of see where we're going and make them just kind of get lost in the moment for a second. I mean, that's the beauty of professional wrestling right there. But thank you very much.
And really, you pulled those similar emotions from me in your match with Cassius Ohno, with Chris Hero on TV. That was one of the best TV matches I've seen. It might have been probably the best TV match I've seen this year. So, well, not this year, but because this year just started. But in months or probably all last year.
Yeah, I was really happy that I was able to do that with Cassius Ohno too, because I think the world of Cassius Ohno.
Me too.
I think he's absolutely phenomenal. I'm going back to him being Chris Hero.
Yep.
We've worked a couple times, and I'm just really glad that I was able to get in there with him, and we were able to have a match that shows the world who Cassius Ohno really is.
Yeah.
Because I think he kind of gets caught in like people
Yeah.
think he should be something.
Yeah.
But I know exactly. I mean, he's one of the best strikers in the world, and he's a big boy.
Yeah, man.
He hits very hard. So I was glad I was able to get in there and show the world what Cassius Ohno is all about. But I think that says something about my character too. Is I can be in there with a Cassius Ohno, or I could be there with an Andrade Cien Almas, different sizes and different
Yep.
shapes and just different styles.
Yeah.
And have different matches, but still at the end of the day, I try to make people somewhat emotionally invested in what I'm doing.
Yeah, you make people feel like you do, man. Like that's the thing when you sell and just everything, like all the little detail stuff. People they don't really, they might not, like the average fan might not get it while they're watching it, but they're feeling it, you know, and it's just so cool.
And I've always been the first one to say I haven't been blessed with the best genetics or the best athletic gifts, but what I feel like I can do pretty decently is sell and emote and make you feel something. So as long as I keep doing that, I think I'm pretty okay.
Yeah, and I have to throw this in there too. Having Zelina Vega on the floor and then bringing Candace into the mix. Oh my God, mouth watering. Just waiting to see what you guys do with that.
Yeah, it's exciting, man, especially for me because I've touted Candace LeRae. I mean, she's my wife, but outside of her being my wife, she's an absolutely phenomenal professional wrestler.
She's a true badass.
I've been a fan of her for a very, very long time.
Yeah.
So I'm just excited. I'm excited now she gets the opportunity to show the world what she can do as well, which is going to blow some people's minds.
And doesn't it make you feel good when she comes out there? Like, mind you, I mean, they were, WWE Universe was exposed to her in the Mae Young Classic, but like still, when she comes out and gets this huge pop, like that's some good feeling stuff right there, man.
That says a lot about independent wrestling too right now. I think that's what has helped me. That's what's helped her. Is people are really watching us from the ground up.
Yeah.
People have watched me for over 10 years, scratch and claw, just trying to get to this point. And when I finally get here, they're like, "Yeah, okay, he's our guy. Like we want to see him succeed. We want to see him. We've seen him since day one. We want to see him push forward." And I like everyone knows, like a guy my size or someone like that, like I'm not supposed to be in the position I'm in, and they all know that, and they all see that, so it makes them root for me even harder, which is a good spot to be in. But so I think that speaks a lot for independent wrestling and the fan base we have currently.
I can relate to that that role that you have now, like that I don't want to call it the underdog role, but like it's the David and Goliath, man. That's how I put it. Like, I mean, because when I worked for Vince, like there wasn't that many guys my size, so it was everyone was bigger than me.
Which is amazing to all of us now. Trust me, it's amazing to all of us now to see a guy like you and be like, okay, that was the smallest guy back then. Because you were huge, really. You make us all look so small. And for you to be like, because you really are the prototypical guy. Like when you say an underdog, like it's you. Like everyone looks at you as the underdog. And you kind of, like I said, I've said this many times, guys like you and guys like Shawn Michaels, like, you guys open the door to let someone like me and let someone like Andrade go out there and have the match we did. If it weren't for guys like you, we wouldn't have had the opportunity to go out and do that. So from all of us, small indie guys, thank you for opening the door for us.
I'm honored to have been the one that was able to do it, man, and I'm sure glad I didn't drop the ball. Because, like if you drop the ball, maybe Vince doesn't take a chance on another guy our size.
It's true. 100%.
So, hey, go ahead.
Johnny, you mentioned Candace earlier, and I wanted to know, what was it like wrestling Candace, and has there ever been a moment where in one of her matches she did something that maybe you were like a little scared or maybe you got a little bit worried?
I mean, it was always fun wrestling Candace. She's always been one of my favorite opponents just because it's such an easy story to tell, and like she can do a lot more athletic stuff than I can. So it's always good to be in the ring with someone that has that trick and has that ability. But I try to not watch the match as her husband. I can't. I don't think. I don't think I can watch her wrestle as her husband. I can only watch her wrestle as a fellow professional wrestler and fan. Because if I watched the match as her husband, I'd be really worried. But no, I try to kind of separate that and just watch it as a fan and enjoy her work. Because, like I said, she's one of my favorites to watch.
So what was it finally getting to tag with her against Selena Vega and Almas this past weekend in Nashville?
Yep, that was actually our first time teaming in an NXT ring. To say life currently is like a dream come true, that'd be kind of an understatement, really. Because I get to go out there and live my dream, and I get to do it alongside my wife, and get to watch her live her dream as well, and get to team together in NXT. If you would have told me a year ago, actually, last September, I teamed with her in my final indie match. I wrestled her, then we teamed together, and that was my last indie match in Cleveland, Ohio. And we didn't know what could happen in the future. For what we thought was this could potentially be the last time me and her were in the ring together, and she definitely thought it was. I always held hope that this day would come, and it has. And here we are, almost a year later, and we're teaming together in an NXT ring. It's pretty wild, and it's super cool. It's like I said, it's a dream come true.
Johnny, I know that you're talking about your dream coming true, and recently, not too long ago, you shared your checklist of what you wanted to accomplish in wrestling, and pretty much every box was checked off. But I wanted to know, do you have a new set of goals now? What's your goal in 2018, 2019?
I mean, I still want the NXT Championship. I mean, that's as real as it gets for me, I think. It's just because I think that represents something bigger than what it actually is. I mean, the NXT Championship's a big deal, but for someone who I feel, like I said, like was never supposed to be here, to be the NXT champion, to be the guy in this company, that's what I want. I want to be the guy here. And I want to do everything in my power to make NXT as big as it could be, because I think we have some of the best talent in the world, and we have one of the best wrestling products in the world. And I'm in no rush to go anywhere. I want to make NXT as good as I can. But trust me, a lot of things aren't lost on me. I'm still a huge wrestling fan, and I think that's what people kind of relate to me in, is like I'm not afraid to talk about how cool it is to have an action figure, because it really is freaking cool. Like, it's freaking amazing. Like, to get an action figure of yourself, that's a dream come true. To be in a video game, that's a dream come true. To even have a shirt produced by WWE, that's a dream come true. When I see myself in commercials still for WWE, I'm like, that's amazing. I actually just got a chair today from TakeOver Philadelphia that my face is on. It's the first chair that I've actually been on. I'm like, I want that, because that's a dream come true, because there's still a little 8-year-old wrestling fan inside of me that had hopes and dreams, and now to go out there and be able to do them, it's amazing. And I'm not afraid to share that, because it's cool stuff, and I think the world should know, like, look, like, I'm out here, like, living my dream, and a guy like me can do it. I think anyone can do it. I think that's what people can see in, is if someone like me can go out there and live their dream, I think anyone can go out there and live theirs as well. So I think I'm not afraid to share that sort of stuff.
What was it like, talking about having all this cool stuff happen to you, what was it like to get the word that during SummerSlam weekend your shirt that had just been released sold out in the venue?
It was so I was getting tweets from people saying I can't find the Johnny Wrestling shirt, and I was told, like, hey, the shirt was going to be on sale. So I went up to the merch people and I was like, hey, man, like, I'm getting all these tweets from people saying they can't find the shirt, and they're like, oh, well, because we just got told it's sold out everywhere. And I'm like, what? Like, it's like, I mean, like amazing. Like, for me, like, I'm the guy who stands in front of the curtain, stands in Gorilla before he's getting ready to go out, and just hopes that people know who he is. Every single show. Doesn't matter where we're at. If we're in Nashville, Tennessee, or in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, I'm just like, oh, I hope they at least care that I come out, or I hope they at least know who I am. So to hear that they sold out in Brooklyn, New York at one of our biggest shows, like, that's mind-blowing to me. And it's just, things get cooler every single day, it seems. It was a kind of an eye-opening thing to have them tell me that. And it's all because of the fans, man. Like I said, I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for the fans supporting me in NXT. And that's as legitimate as it gets. Like, if I didn't get that reaction when I came out in NXT, who knows what would happen? So it's all them. I'm just out there doing my thing, but they're making everything happen.
Well, speaking of fans, your fan Caden, that's in your documentary that Kenny Johnson made, how is he reacting to all your success in NXT? And did you send him one of your action figures since he made you one of your first custom action figures?
I actually just saw Caden, I believe a month ago when I went home to Cleveland for the holidays. I stopped by and I went backstage to an AIW show and kind of saw some of my buddies, and they told Caden that I was downstairs in the back, and they let him come in the back, and I said hello to him and said hey, and like he was invited to my me and Candace's wedding reception as well.
Oh,
so yeah, me and Caden's become really a part of my family as well, just because what he gave me when he gave me a hospital bracelet many years ago touched me so deeply that I was to have something like that. You don't realize what you mean to certain people until something like that happens, until someone says to you, I'm going through this in my life, I'm going through chemotherapy, and just thinking about you makes me stronger. Like something like that. Like I said, I can do a lot of cool things in wrestling. I can have action figures and video games and things like that, but to touch someone like that, to work with Make-A-Wish,
Yeah,
to
man.
do that, to just talk to Caden, like things like that. That is really, at the end of the day, the coolest part of our job.
Yeah.
Is just to be able to touch someone's life and make them feel something and make them feel stronger, and make them, honestly, just make them forget about the horrible things they're going through. That, at the end of the day, is the coolest part of our job, and something I don't take lightly.
And I'm so happy to hear you say that, man, because to me, like, that's really, honestly, like one of the most rewarding parts of all of this, man, is to be like, because it's easy, Johnny, to sit and go, why me? Or I'm not worthy of this from this kid that's dying or whatever, man. But I highly suggest not thinking like that and just being that, not questioning it and just doing it, man, and being that person for these people, man. It's a real like honor, man, and so very few people know what it's like to be that person.
Yeah, it's something that I always dreamed of coming to WWE and getting to work with Make-A-Wish, just because watching the videos and seeing the reaction on the kids' faces. I mean, that's mind blowing.
Yeah,
I mean,
man.
that's something that is just you're not going to get to experience in any other walk of life, and to be able to do just play a small part in that is amazing to me.
Yeah. It's hard for me to like go from talking about Make-A-Wish to bringing this back up, but listening to a little of you were talking with Edge and Christian, and you were saying, and this is what reminded me of it when you brought up my match with Jericho. When the match was over, I didn't think it was nearly as good as everyone else thought it was, and you thought the same about your match with Andrade?
Yes, 100%. I saw that quote making the rounds this week about how I didn't like my match with Andrade. And the thing is, like, as you know, like when you're in the middle of it,
Yep.
you're like, okay, this is just kind of business as usual. It's going well. Like the crowd's having a good time. People are reacting. That's about as good as you can hope for. Like you don't think you're doing something special in the moment. You don't think you're doing something that people are going to talk about for a very, very long time in the moment.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, like I came in the back and everyone was very complimentary. Everyone loved it. Like everyone was very happy, and that made me happy. Like coming in the back and seeing how happy people were, that's really like, okay, job well done.
Yeah. Did you get that? Did you get
then
that?
I go back and I watch it.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah. So you get that instant satisfaction. You're like, oh yeah, sweet. Like I did my job. Like what am I supposed to do?
Yeah, but then when you walk back through the
think-
curtain, do you get that big standing ovation from everyone behind the curtain?
Yes.
I can imagine.
Yeah, I did, and it's great, and it's crazy too because it's guys like Triple H and guys like Shawn Michaels who I've looked up to my entire life basically, and they're applauding you and giving you credit for your work. But like I went back and I watched it at the airport, I think the following morning, and I was like, oh, it's pretty good. And then I watched it back and I was like, oh, I guess it's more than pretty good, I guess. But at the end of the day, like I'm my own worst critic. I'm not going to like any of my matches.
Yeah.
I'm always going to find something in them which I feel could be better.
Yeah.
Or there's always going to be that one glaring thing where I'm like, I wish this wouldn't have happened, or I wish I would have done this. And that's going to ruin the match for me.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I could wrestle the perfect match, and it could be rated 5 stars, it could be rated 7 stars, 10 stars. I'm always going to find something I dislike about it. So it doesn't matter what match it is.
I can totally relate, Johnny, because even with my match that I had with Bret Hart, there's things about it that I pick apart, and it takes away from my ability to enjoy just watching it as a fan. So like, I totally get it, and I'm sure like while you're actually in when you're in the match in the moment, were there things that you were going, oh crap, I did this wrong, or like.
Yep, 100%. There's always there's moments, as you know, in matches where you're like, I shouldn't have done that, or oh man, I missed an opportunity there. Especially when I go back and watch it, I'm like, and that ruins the match for me. So,
yeah, but apparently,
it's not that I hated the match. It's not that I hated it, but it's just you know how it is.
Yeah, I do, man. And the thing that separates the guys that are just okay from the guys that are great, or like when you do have one of those moments in the match, it's like what you do after that. You know, how you recover.
Yeah, I don't think it's a bad thing at all.
Right.
Like it sucks. It sucks that I'll never be satisfied, and I'll never be that guy who's like, okay, job well done. I did it. I'm pumped. Like there it is, perfect match.
Yeah.
All done. Wipe my hands and okay, done learning. But in the same sense, it makes you always want to work harder. It always makes you not satisfied, and I think that's not a bad thing.
Yeah.
Well, that's what you have your action figure for. You could always have a perfect match with that.
Mm-hmm. Hey,
I don't know.
Hey, we're getting towards the end of this. Like, you guys got anything you guys want to?
I got
one more.
Go ahead,
Johnny. With Ricochet, War Machine, and of course Candice coming in, it's a ridiculous amount of talent on NXT, but you were around on the indie scene for so long and were such a big part of the indie scene. Who is still out there on the indies that you would love to see NXT sign next?
Man, So there's tons of great guys, and I think there's tons of stories to be told with those guys. I mean, I'm not going to talk about any New Japan talent, I guess, because those are the obvious ones, with the Kenny Omegas and the Young Bucks and things like that.
Yeah.
Those are the very obvious
Sure.
wish list of guys. So I'll go kind of underground more. I'll go kind of low keel. I've always I'm completely biased because he was the best man at my wedding, but I'll go Gregory Iron because I feel like there's a story to be told there with him. I don't know what the story is, but I feel like he is an ultimate underdog. I'll go M-Dog 20 Matt Cross.
Nice.
Because I think he's absolutely phenomenal, and he's one of the best in the world for a long time. I'll go Chuck Taylor.
Man.
I think Chuck Taylor has something special about him. I think he has that it factor that you can't teach.
100% agree.
And I'll go all ego Ethan Page as well. I think all ego Ethan Page. He's a guy that I think if given the opportunity, he'll do some cool stuff with. So I think there's tons of great guys still on the indies. I'm not as connected as I used to be with talent there, but I think there's no ends to independent wrestling. I think the talent pool will keep replenishing and it'll keep getting bigger.
Hey Johnny, is there a plan? When are we going to see another title shot?
I don't know. I would love one in the future. I think me and Andrade have unreal chemistry, and I think we have a lot more left in the tank, and I think we could do this. They chanted fight forever and things like that. I think we could fight forever because I think we can do different things and different stories to be told all the time. So we'll see what happens in the future. I don't know.
Right on. Anything you guys want to add before we let Johnny go?
You spent so long on the indies before you made it to the WWE. Were there any habits that you had that you have to break now that you're in NXT that you're finding hard to do?
Not really. Like, as far as bad habits go and things like that, I know there's a stigma on independent wrestlers where they feel like they do too much or things like that, and maybe that could be called to question, or we take unnecessary risks. And I definitely did back then. Like, I'm not saying I didn't take unnecessary risks when I was on the indies, but I absolutely did. But I think it's less breaking bad habits and just learning different ways to improve upon those habits. Just like I said, NXT and being at the Performance Center with the minds we have there, like I can't say enough good things about Coach Bloom. I think the culture he has at the Performance Center is absolutely world class and one of a kind. And being able to be there with minds like Shawn Michaels and guys like that, who you can't help but learn being around them. I think it's only helped me because it is a different world when you get here. You don't think about it when you're on the indies. Yes, it is professional wrestling, but when you're here, it's more of a television production more than anything. You have to learn to work two different cameras, and you have to learn to work different things like that. And yeah, like on the indies, yes, we knew what a hard cam was, but we didn't know about blocking. We didn't know about certain places to be to get certain shots or things like that. And that's stuff you do learn here. So I think in that sense, NXT is very valuable because it does nothing but help you. So I don't think I broke any bad habits, more so just learned different ways to utilize my talents and to make things bigger than they really are.
Sweet.
Excellent.
Man, I got to go ahead. Denise, you got anything else? Well, I mean, I could talk to you for a long time, Johnny, but we're going to have to wrap this thing up, man.
I mean, trust me, as long as you guys want, I can keep going.
No, I'd love to, man, but we're getting towards the end of the show, and damn, man.
That just means we have to have you back.
Yeah, please.
We'll have to do it in person next time.
Yes,
Yeah.
that sounds awesome.
Can bring me an action figure.
That sounds awesome. Man, hey,
deal.
Johnny, sincerely, man, I can't tell you how happy I am for you and your lovely wife, Candace. You totally deserve everything you have and more right now. Enjoy this, man, because really quick you're going to end up where I am, and you're going to go, man, that all happened really quick. And it's just such an amazing ride, and it's barely just begun for you, man. And I'm so happy for you. Thank you for coming on the show.
Yeah, thank you, Johnny.
Thank you.
No, thank you, man. It's my pleasure. And like I said, I wouldn't be in the position I was in if it weren't for guys like you. So thank you for opening that door and giving me a chance. Because, like I said, wouldn't be here if it wasn't for guys like you. So hopefully we can do this again. It's been my pleasure. And, thanks for having me, guys.
Thank you. Johnny Wrestling, everyone. Yeah. All right. Whew. Like, legit, you guys, Johnny Gargano, like I said to him, he deserves everything he's got, man. Yeah. Like, really, huge fan of that guy. Can't say enough about it. Jesus, I need to get off his tip, huh?
That's fine. There's room for everybody.
As long as it's just a tip.
Room for everybody.
That was terrible.
Way to go, TK.
I know, right?
Hey, was there anything that we missed out on that we should have asked him?
I think there was just so much that we can talk about. I mean, we can dive in. Come on, he's had so many years in the indie world that there was so much to talk to about. With him there, we didn't talk about a lot of Dragon Gate stuff, Evolve.
That's
so
right.
even then, if we get him back for another show, which fingers crossed we hopefully do, that, we can still talk so much about that with him. Yeah. So that's always fun.
Yeah, and I just, I wanted to, because I knew we had limited time. It's not like we had a whole hour or something with Johnny, so I didn't want to go through the whole run down the Wikipedia page from from the time of birth. So I feel like we kind of got the good stuff right.
He said he was going to talk to us again when we get a chance to talk to him in person. We'll talk to him for at least an hour.
Yeah.
There's so much that I could talk to Johnny Gargano about. I know Jimbo could too.
Yeah. Well, just something so small as you say he's the last white meat babyface.
Yeah.
But his run as a heel in Evolve against Shingo would be a great conversation. Just know how much that has helped his career to know how a heel should wrestle and how a babyface should wrestle and what he brought to the table moving up to NXT. And
I haven't heard the name Shingo in a minute. He was in
man.
WSX. He was from Dragon Gate, right?
Yeah.
And then when we did WSX, he was in WSX, right? Him and this.
Yeah.
I think Milano Collection 18.
Yeah, there's a Dragon Gate team. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think he was one of those guys.
Yeah, he was.
Shingo?
I think so.
Yeah, man.
I'll look at it.
How much do you want to bet?
guys
I was
talk
only
about-
there, man.
How much do you want to bet? What are we going to bet?
He's like, he's on there.
I don't know. It doesn't matter, dude.
A singlet?
A singlet.
That's
Okay.
super random.
So, yeah.
Yeah, no.
Shingo.
I'm pretty sure I'm correct.
I'll bet you that Shingo was not in WSX.
Yo, what singlet are you gonna put up, Jimbo?
I will make a singlet.
Yeah.
Sure.
It was not Shingo.
Who was it?
It was Yoshino and someone
it
else.
was Yoshino and Horiguchi.
Oh, okay.
Genki Horiguchi.
Yeah, well, I'll give you something, Jimbo.
I like that.
Give it to you later.
Score!
I know what it is.
That tip that I was talking about earlier.
I'll take
You're
it.
gonna go.
I'll take it gladly.
Oh man.
And when I say tip, I don't mean propina.
I'll just add that to my
and this
bucket
is-
list.
And this is not a preview of Sean Waltman's VIP experience on WrestleMania weekend.
That's
WrestleCon.
Anyways.
Yeah, that costs extra.
Wow.
So, leave me alone. Innuendo, that's all.
But yeah, Shingo's awesome.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Shingo is awesome.
He was great in WSX. Right, Jimbo? Correct.
Did you ever wrestle Yoshino?
No, we were just, I just remember watching those guys. You know?
Yoshino's. You
Yeah.
could have had an amazing match with him.
Yeah, because
Yeah,
go ahead.
I would love to see you versus Johnny.
Johnny Gargano?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Just thinking about all this.
Not Sean Waltman 2018. No.
No?
I wouldn't be able to go. He'd have to come down to my level, and I don't mean that in a bad way, but like I would have had to done what somebody older than me. That's a little, you know what I mean?
Well,
when
what
I
about
was his age.
What about a tag match? You like to do tag matches.
Yeah.
It seems to balance out. Who
Yeah,
would
sure.
you want to go? Maybe like
I
him
don't
and
know.
Candace against you and someone.
Ooh, I don't know. Let me think.
Him and Candice against Sean and Ciampa.
No, but I'm trying to think of a lady.
You and Sonya Deville.
Taya.
Taya would be awesome.
All right, yeah, I'll take Ty on my team any day of the week.
Or Evilise. Be dope too.
All right. So,
Enough fantasy booking.
hey, so Jimbo,
Yes.
where am I going to be coming up?
February 24th, you'll be at Breaking the Cycle of Addiction at Town Hall in Jonestown, Pennsylvania.
Johnstown.
Johnstown,
Sorry, I
Pennsylvania.
put that in your mind.
Eventbrite.com has the tickets for that. March 17th, Power Factory Wrestling. One Fall, like the number one Fall Wrestling is
1FW.
1FW is holding a seminar. Tickets and information are available on their Facebook.com, the number one Fall Wrestling, for more information about that. And then at WrestleCon, you'll be part of that wrestling club's group with Kevin Nash, Al Snow, and Mean Gene. More information at thatwrestlingclub.com.
Yeah, I might add days. We might add more days onto that WrestleCon appearance. I'm not sure yet.
Awesome.
Yeah. So, yeah. Anything else that we need to touch on before we get out of here? Mark in the booth. Anything?
I think everybody's just put themselves over. We got some social media to plug as well.
All right. Well, let's get that out of the way, and then we'll take it home.
Follow me on Twitter at Jimbo in the Booth.
You guys can follow me on Twitter and on Instagram at _Denise Salcedo. Also, if you're in the Texas area, February 16, Beaumont, Texas, and February 17 in Humble, Texas, Aura Lucha will be there both those 2 nights, so make sure to check it out, auralucha.com.
Nice. I'm everywhere at Sundown Motel. Check out withspandex.com, rpress.com/pro wrestling. Just today we put up a new episode of McMahon-splaining, the With Spandex podcast, with our very special guest, Jimmy Jacobs. Got to talk to him about a whole bunch of stuff, and it was great to catch up with him. And Jimbo, I know you'd be happy that while he was at PCW Ultra, somebody came by and gave him the special Festival of Friendship Mattel 2-pack.
Did they really?
Because he's, responsible for the list of Jericho, so they thought he should get one of those.
Hey, didn't he come out to the ring wearing some kind of like?
Yeah, he's the zombie princess.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
his
He has a
gimmick.
tiara.
That was
Yeah.
his,
like crazy
he
jacket.
started that gimmick right before he went to WWE. He's the zombie princess,
Yeah.
and now he's doing it again. And I'm excited because it's a great gimmick. And I was bummed out that he didn't get a longer run with it before he went to WWE, but now he has a chance.
And
Still
he's
a young
doing
guy.
like like he's doing well post WWE, correct?
Yeah.
doing great.
Good for
Doing
him.
great. And he told us a really great story about how he actually stole Kevin Sullivan's spike.
The Golden Spike.
No,
At
the-
PCW?
no.
Oh.
Like at the beginning of his career. Because I asked him how he chose the spike as his signature weapon. And he said he stole Kevin Sullivan's.
Hey, man, that was a big deal when I was a kid.
Yeah.
When the golden spike came out, somebody was going to the hospital.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, and it, like Dusty would get stabbed in the chest, and he'd gig his chest, and there'd be blood all coming out. And then, but there would be like this one picture of Kevin Sullivan holding the golden spike, and there would be this rubber ball on the end of it. And I'm like, what's that stupid thing? What's that? It's like Tiger Jeet Singh's sword with the stupid rubber ball on the end.
There's one thing I wanted to ask you before we get to TK's plugs. There's one thing I wanted to ask you. I recently watched Steve Austin's amazing commentary.
Oh, yeah, I
seasons.
saw you comment on that.
When are you going to do yours, man? Soon?
Yeah. Let's get some of those dialed in.
Maybe people can tell you on. You can do a poll on social media about what matches they'd most like to see you do commentary on.
A poll on social media. That's a great idea. I'm glad that we thought of that. Yeah.
You can follow Sean on Twitter, The Real X-Pac, IG X-Pac12360, Facebook X-Pac12360 Show. Sign up for our newsletter, iTunes 5 stars, all that good stuff. Also YouTube, put all those comments there. Also, you can follow me find me and follow me at TK Trinidad. I am running a marathon, hopefully, God willing, to raise money for water pumps in Africa. So you can kind of go in the byline and you can donate.
Nice. Sounds good.
Oh, the training is terrible.
Yeah? How long you been training for that?
Going on 10 weeks, and I just sprained this will tell you.
Oh, boy. Anyways, all right, everyone. Hey, I appreciate everyone. I'm more than appreciative. I'm very grateful for everyone tuning in every week. And coming up, not that we haven't had great guests the whole history of X-Pac 12360, but like starting from now moving forward. And then we're going to have a big announcement next week, too. Mm-hmm. But starting from now moving forward, we're going to bring more heavy-hitting guests in on a regular basis. And I'm sure everyone's going to be happy about that.
Yeah.
We'll see you right here next week on easy for me to say. We'll see you right here next week. Right here. Wait a minute.
You got it. You were nailing it.
No, it was too redundant. I said too many right here's. See you right here next week on X-Pac 12360.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, Sean Waltman, producers Mark Donica, Jimbo Frank, and TK Trinidad, and the entire X-Pac 12360 staff, we would like to thank you for tuning in. Like us on Facebook, rate and comment on iTunes and YouTube. Follow X-Pac on Twitter at TheRealXpac and email us at xpac12360show@gmail.com.